Since the 16th century, the enigmatic words of Michel de Nostradamus have echoed in our minds, creating theories and interpreting the destiny of humanity. For 2025, the predictions attributed to the French prophet seem to have come straight out of a science fiction narrative mixed with biblical tragedies. A war against artificial intelligence, a threatening meteor and global famine are part of the apocalyptic scenario described in his mysterious verses. But what can we really expect from this future that seems closer every day? What did Nostradamus really mean? Imagine waking up in a world where technology, once an ally, becomes an uncontrollable force. This prediction, connected to the words "the new wise man with a solitary brain sees," is interpreted as a warning about the dangers of artificial intelligence. The idea of machines overtaking humanity is terrifying, especially when we see our increasing dependence on them. Who has never questioned whether we are becoming prisoners of our own inventions? Think about how we rely on virtual assistants to organize our lives, or on AI systems to make decisions that were once left to humans alone. In addition, Nostradamus warns of an impending cosmic disaster. Fire, I see, will fall from the sky harks back to an ancient fear, a meteorite colliding with Earth. Despite scientific assurances that we are not facing immediate danger, it is hard to ignore the lingering fears these words evoke. The images of devastating craters and the idea of a world forever changed have something unsettling about them. After all, history has shown us the impact that a single cosmic event can have. Are we prepared to face such a scenario? But perhaps most terrifying is the warning of global famine. Nostradamus writes, "So high is the price of wheat, that man is agitated, his neighbor eats in his despair." In a post-pandemic world, where supply chains are still struggling to recover, these words seem to resonate like an echo of our reality. Think of the ever-rising prices of basic foodstuffs and the desperation of so many families. Now imagine this multiplied on a global scale, where even the richest nations are not spared. Could we be seeing the first signs of a crisis that will unfold in 2025? But it is not all despair. Nostradamus also speaks of regeneration and new beginnings. Many interpretations of his stanzas suggest that after the chaos comes a period of reconstruction. This is perhaps the most important message, that humanity, despite its flaws, always finds a way to survive and thrive. It is a reminder that even in the darkest times, there is hope. However, it is hard to ignore the sense that this regeneration may come at a high price. And there's something even more curious. Some of Nostradamus's quatrains, which have been little explored until now, mention eyes in the south and fire in the northern skies. Experts suggest that this could be a reference to geopolitical conflicts that we still don't fully understand. Are we about to witness an even greater division between powerful nations? With technological advances becoming weapons rather than just tools, this prediction seems more realistic than ever. Have you ever thought about how your life depends on technologies that you don't control? Imagine a scenario where robots and artificial intelligence systems decide that humans are obsolete. It sounds like something out of a movie, but great names in science, such as Stephen Hawking, have already warned about the dangers of AI. Nostradamus seems to have anticipated this fear, speaking of bodies on fire and hands on chests. It's a visceral image that combines physical destruction with the symbolism of human surrender. Are we surrendering our fate without realizing it? If we stop and think about it, there is something deeply human about the way these predictions strike us. Nostradamus, in his poetic complexity, captures our greatest fears and our greatest hopes. Did he really know what was coming, or are we the ones who shape his words to make sense of the chaos? As we ponder these questions, we cannot ignore the fact that many of his warnings align with our contemporary concerns. So, viewer, how do you feel about the future? Is there anything you would do differently knowing these predictions? Let me ask you, have you noticed how technology has entered every detail of your life? From the alarm clock that goes off in the morning to the algorithm that decides what you see on your social media, we are surrounded by creations that shape us as much as we shape them. But what about the little-known revelation? Here it is. One of Nostradamus's least discussed stanzas mentions shadows dominating the skies, while the birds are silent. Some scholars believe this may refer to an environmental collapse linked to human impact and the uncontrolled use of advanced technologies. Could we be closer to a tipping point than we think? There's no denying that Nostradamus's words are an invitation to reflection. They challenge us to look beyond the present and consider the consequences of our choices. So, what do you think? Are we destined for chaos, or is there room to change our destiny? Do you believe these predictions? It's hard to ignore the impact of Nostradamus's words, even though they are shrouded in mystery and multiple interpretations. Are we, with our own concerns and fears, the ones who bring these prophecies to life? Or do they really carry a glimpse of the future? Think about it. When you look at advances in artificial intelligence, signs of climate change, and global tensions, do these predictions seem so impossible? Sometimes, what we consider impossible today can become tomorrow's reality. After all, how many times has the world reinvented itself in the midst of chaos? We don't want to alarm anyone, but isn't it time to reflect on the path we're taking? This discussion isn't just about Nostradamus, it's about us, as a society. We are living in a time of transition, in which technology grows at a rapid pace, natural resources are increasingly scarce, and global equilibrium seems constantly threatened. It's important to raise this question: are we prepared to deal with the challenges that may arise? More than that, are we making decisions that bring us closer to a better future, or are we ignoring signs that should be obvious? We want to hear from you. What do you think about all this? Was Nostradamus a visionary, or are his verses just interpretations shaped by time? Do you believe that any of these predictions could come true, or do you think that it is all just a huge historical misunderstanding? This is not just about theories or discussing the apocalypse, it is an invitation to reflect on our collective responsibility. The future is still in our hands, and every choice we make today can echo for generations. So, share your opinion. What would you do to build a safer and more balanced world in the face of these possibilities? Now, we want to know your opinion. Leave your comment below. Do you believe that Nostradamus' words have any bearing on the future that awaits us? Or do you think they are just coincidences shaped by popular imagination? We would love to hear what you have to say.